go.
Hey everybody. I'm sitting here and I'm sitting with a friend, and we were sitting here, we were really politicking about what's going on. And what baffles the mind is that someone has the power, right, to turn the clocks forward and backwards, right? Where you have daylight saving time and then you lose an hour and you gain an hour, right? Now, one or two things is going on. This shit is man-made. Because it's like saying you're controlling the weather. Now, on one hand, they say, you can't fool with Mother Nature. God is God, right? But somewhere along the line, somebody playing with the skies. You know what I'm saying? Seriously. I mean, how can you do that? Turn the clock back, turn the clock forward, right? Someone is doing that. Am I correct?
Yep, correct on that one. 'Cause if you, I agree. Because if you can switch your clock an hour back, fall back, spring forward.
Right, repel back and spring forward. Then I mean, repel back and spring forward. I could take some of these 50 plus years off of me and say, oh, okay, bam. Let me take off 10 years. Okay? Something is going on. It really is. And it boggles the mind, because then it makes you think. Yeah. So when we have these, like Hurricane Katrina hit, like Superstorm Sandy hit, and these big major storms that, that was devastating to the people. Was it man-made?
I start to think it's man-made.
Because it's a lot of things has you thinking.
Oh, yeah.
It has you thinking. Because it has me thinking. How could these things just take place? This is not a freak of nature. And then everybody prays for God's divine intervention, right? God works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. True indeed. Some might say. And some don't believe in that power of God. But there's a lot of man-made shit going on. You feel me?
Oh, I feel you.
It's a lot of that going on. And I know people have to take heed to this. Take heed to this. Because I can't figure out how could they do that. They tell you, oh, such and such, turn the clocks back, or turn the clocks forward, an hour, this and that, in October, and then you turn the clock back in April, and look at this. Look at that scenario. You see the scenario?
No.
What is that telling you? Talk to me.
And I feel that, somebody's, I feel and think, make me think that, somebody playing around with the, whatever they want to call it, Mother Nature, should people say, and should I say, Mother Nature, what do you want to call it? I think people playing around with something up there, around there, down where, up, somewhere. It's like playing video games. Press a button here and there, press this button, that button for activate. Activate this, do this. Press this button, blow the wind. Press this button, serious snowstorm. Press this button, windstorm. Press that button.
It boggles the mind. It boggles the mind, So if someone has the capabilities to change things, and 10 o'clock is no longer 10 o'clock, it's 9 o'clock, then I'm not 51. Okay? Then I have the capability of saying, I'm not 51. Wham! Let me change my age. Okay? Just this shit is not politically correct. That's all I'm saying. I'm asking brothers and sisters to look at this scenario.
Feel free to comment.
And sit down and ask yourself that question. Who controls the skies? They say God is mighty. He's a mighty God. He's king, right? God sees, hears, everything that goes on, right?
Yep.
That's what's being said.
That's been said for
So
years.
if God is almighty and he's king, who's fucking with the time? That's what I like to know. Because whoever fucking with this time, that's somebody that's really, really technical up here. Really, really technical. All right? Because if you can have the capability to turn things back, to make things go forward, right? Then you might have the capability to program people to think a certain way because you put it out there, and the perception of what you put out there, people grab a hold of it and say, yes, that's it. Yes, that's the truth. So that makes you think, right? Now you go to the Bible and things of that nature, right? Now you got all these things, right? You got the Quran, you got the Bible, right?
Yeah.
You got the Watchtower. You got all these things, right? Is it man-made? Or did Almighty God make that? You see the power, you see the concept of the power of what I'm saying and what's going on?
Yo, that is a good point. That's a good question there too. There's times I'm thinking it's man-made, man-written, handwritten.
I believe it's man-made.
I believe it's either man-made, man-written.
Now I'm not saying don't stray away from God, those who love God. I'm not saying don't stray away from God. God is a mighty God, merciful, and and you could be in His good graces, and He gives love, understanding, right, and peace of mind. But at what cost? That's what I would like to know. You got people that'll tell you, not the Bible, the Watchtower, not the Watchtower, the Quran, not the Quran, you know, you got people that pray to different things.
It sounds like a religion war, if you ask me.
Okay? You got people that'll pray to Buddha. You got people that'll pray to Allah, right? You got people that'll pray to God, Jesus, right?
Oh, yeah.
You got people that'll pray to Jehovah, right? So it's a lot of, concepts on religion and how you choose to live it. And I'm not saying don't accept God the way you accept God. Accept God by any means, by all means, But what price are you paying for things that are man-made? That's all I'm saying. Feel free to holler back at me. Peace, y'all. This is L. Brown.